Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Flip and Customize. And today on Project Freight Train, we got our lower end shackles in. These things are beefy. They're 2 to 3 inch lower end shackles. So pretty psyched about getting these in there. There she be right there. It snowed again last night. I hate winter. But anyway, this truck is so freaking long that we gotta make some room for this thing in the shop. Because as you can see, let me get some lights on. Woo. We are slammed full in the shop, and we want to put it, actually I want to put it in this bay, but we can't get this out because there's another vehicle out there, so it's gonna have to go in this bay. So we got ATVs, motorcycles, metal tires, everything to go away to back this beast in here, because it's gonna take up most of the bay. So we'll get organized and get this thing in here. The shop emptied out, at least what we think is enough to go ahead and get the Cummins in here. So what we're gonna do, instead of coming straight in, the truck is so long, you'd have to come so far forward, and all that big heavy engine and transmission would be hanging so far off the front of the lift. Probably not the safest, smartest thing to do, so it's gonna be backed in. And I can use and we'll be working off the ground, basically, old school, be even funner. But I'll be able to use the lift to lift the back of the truck up and down as far as lining up the shackles go, so that'll be handy, plus the floor jacks. But we're close enough as far as in the shop goes, getting stuff moved around. Oh, here she be. Now we gotta move snow, because freaking why not, right? Let's just, imagine how much I hate snow. You southern boys don't have to deal with this at all. Oh boy. This is good. Fun stuff. I'm also not gonna defrost the windshield because that takes like an hour and a half. And we're not going far, so I mean, I got a mirror, we're probably all right. All right, guys, just a quick update on this 99 Dodge Cummins build that we have going called Project Freight Train. This is a $1,500 budget build. So we're collecting parts, we're bartering, we're trading. We've already found our 5-inch exhaust off a donor truck that we're gonna modify that will get the fit. We got a Van Aken tuner. We also salvaged off from that truck, and a new switch to run our fog lights. So we got $1,500 to work with, and it ain't much, okay? So today's the shackles. We decided to go with leveling this thing out by lowering the rear. We have the 2 to 3 inch lowering shackles for the rear of this thing. I'm sure it's gonna go real smooth, but what we're gonna do is get it so at least the lift, we can use the lift to go up and down with the truck a little bit to align our shackle bolts up. So we'll get this thing up on the stands and the jack ready to go. All right, just to kind of show you what we're dealing with here. I have utilized the lift to lift the back of the truck to the point where it's just about taking the tires off the ground. Therefore, there's no load on the leaf springs. These are the shackles that we're going to be replacing. A little rust there. So I think these are 24mm nuts. Take these off. Of course, these are like a T60. What a terrible design. So I'm sure that'll come out real nice. Fingers crossed, maybe. I got a few different ideas that we can try. So we'll see. But I think first things first is we might take that spare tire out of there just so we're not dealing with that or fighting with that. So we'll probably get that down first. Oh yeah, another joy of working on snow covered stuff in Maine is everything is dripping on you when you're under here. So ideally I should just leave this in here overnight, and it's gonna be in here overnight, but I just was curious to see if these nuts even come off with zero heat. So why not at least try it, right? Let's try it. Is this side turning? This side's turning, which may be a good thing. Let's see, the bushing's turning. The bushing turning? I hope the bushing's not turning. It's not turning. Oh, that's cool. Alright, so yeah, we get that lucky on the upper one. I'm okay with the nut not coming off. It's a matter of you get the bolt out after. That's historically the problem. Let's see. I can't really see well. Nope, it's turning. And I don't think the bushing is turning. Good. Sweet. Alright, so now I can put heat to the nuts and get those. Alright, update. Here it is. The nut came off. Like I said, I was able to spin the entire bolt within the shackle, and the bushing did not spin. So then I went ahead, put a little heat to the nut, and put a socket on this side of that T60, and I'll be dipped. It has actually, the nut came off, I tapped it with a hammer, and it's coming out of the bushing. Oh my God. I honestly gotta say that's unheard of up here. So we'll see at the top we get that lucky, but I'll pop the other side off. Then what's gonna happen is, just so you know, again, we have the lift to control the height of the vehicle, because if you didn't, the weight of the vehicle with this shackle, this leaf spring would slam into the bed after this, but we've taken the weight of the vehicle off the leaf spring at this point. So we'll be able to raise it up into this area right here, because you can't get to the head of that bolt right now. So once this is out, we'll be able to raise the truck up or down as we need to get to this bolt, and that'll be the next mission. All right, so what we've done is taken all the weight of the back of the truck off of this thing, so there's minimal weight on the bolt itself. Drove it flush to here, so there's quite a bit sticking out of this side. Now I'm gonna take my air chisel, because there's not a lot of room to swing a hammer over here. And I'm gonna take the air chisel and get it up underneath the head of the bolt and see if it'll just drive out that way. Then the leaf spring will go up and we can work that one. All right guys, there is the bolts. Both of them came out and honestly don't look bad at all. That's craziness. And then what I did is I went up and down with the vehicle frame on the lift. So I was able to get that shackle up above the frame. Now we're gonna heat this one a little bit, that nut a little bit with a torch, and hopefully drive that bolt out. And this job is freaking going very well. Probably just jinxed myself. But that's the, I'm gonna show you another method. Even if this works and goes swimmingly, I'll show you another method you can do if you run into a jam, which I expected to. So, all right guys, shackles are out and on the floor, and all 4 bolts came out. That is, I'm gonna say unheard of for up here in Maine or New England, where we deal with rust. But again, this truck has such minimal rust on it. I know you're seeing rust, but it's nothing compared to what I've seen. But as you can see, that leaf spring's way up there, so we'll be able to slide in our new extended shackle, and then the bolts back in, grease them all up. And this thing will be about 2 to 3 inches lower in the rear. I'll set it probably to the lowest because this thing has such a rake on it, and go from there. And I'll show you, let me compare the two, and I'll show you what I'm talking about for the difference. See, here, this is the old one, and that's the new one. And if you measure from eye to eye, from here to here is about a 2-inch or so, and to here is 3 inches. So we're probably gonna go right to here because this truck had about at least a 3-inch rake on it, and see how that looks stance-wise. We want to leave a little bit because we want to load the back of it. All right, guys, tech tip. So, like I said, we got our shackles out of here on this truck, but in a situation where the actual shackle, I'm just setting it back in there. Say the bolt was in there, right? You know what? Don't need the shackle in there. Come on, right. Say the bolt was in there, in the shackle. Okay, we're gonna imagine this, and it's seized into the bushing of the shackle, which frequently they are, and it is not going to move, it's not going to come out, and you don't want to get into rebushing your leaf springs or your shackles or any of the above. So one trick you could do, and it does work and it's worth trying, is you cut the head of the bolt off completely, right off, flush. When the head of the bolt is cut off, you get yourself some washers and you stack washers. I'm trying to do this with one hand, so I apologize. You just stack washers on this end of the bolt, okay? Then you apply your nut. Now keep in mind that this bolt's not going to spin because it's stuck into the shaft. So as you tighten this nut, it's going to use the shackle and this the shackle hanging bracket as a puller, and it's going to pull that bolt right out through. And as it pulls, you keep adding washers or spacers until you get this thing all the way out. That is a way to get it out in a situation where you don't want to have to rebush it. It usually does work, so give it a shot. All right, now that we got the old shackles out and our new shackles are right here, we're going to put them in the same orientation as sitting in the truck as they were the new ones. I mean, the new ones are going to go in the same orientation as the old ones came out. And I think we're going to gamble it because this truck had such a rake, and if I was smart, I would have measured it before, but I forgot. We're going to go with the lowering. We're going to go as low as it will go, and we may have to take it back apart and readjust it to this hole, but we're going to give it a shot. So we cleaned up our bolts, or at least we got most of all the rust off from these. We're going to give these things a good bath in anti-seize, put these in place, and get stuff bolted in. My GoPro camera mount is missing for some reason. And I can't really blame that on anybody. As much as I'd like to blame the kids, I don't know that I can. So, anyway, we're just gonna get this in place. Top first. Hopefully I didn't just bump the camera. Nope. If we can get this bolt in. I get to see my ugly mug now. Sorry for that. There it is. Then we're gonna get our nut. And what I'm gonna do is, so all kinds of anti-seize as you see there, is we're gonna tighten the tops, just like we're gonna do it the opposite as we took it apart. So we'll end up tightening the tops, both of them, and then dropping it down and getting it down into these. So lifting the truck up a little bit and getting these to align, okay? So first things first, we are going to tighten this one down, go ahead and put the other one down. We're gonna lift the truck up a little bit to line this bolt, pop this one in, tighten everything down, and we're good to go. And then honestly, I think I'm gonna replace all the shocks, which you probably don't really care about, but I have 4 brand new donated Bilsteins from a donor truck, so I might as well throw those in if the stuff comes apart. Why not? So that's that. I'm gonna pop the other side in, and I'll show you. All right, what I did was I just went up a little bit with the lift to line up this hole. Now, when I say lift, you could have done that with a jack in the driveway, because I am working on the ground. So, just get it lined up. Like so. And get the nut started. Then we zing this with the impact. We zing the other one. And we shoot it with some lube. That's basically it. And then we'll have to show you what it looks like out in the driveway when it's said and done. Alright, there it is. The lowering shackles are completely installed, and as you can see, there is another hole up there. If we find the back sitting too low, we can go ahead and change that upper bolt, but in order to do that, you gotta do the lower bolt. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but we went all the way as low as we could, at least for now, to see how this thing is gonna sit. But both sides are in and tightened down, so we'll throw some shocks in this thing and get it out in the yard and see what it looks like. Alright, like I said, since we were already doing the shackles, we went ahead and put it up on the lift now. Believe it or not, it's actually easier to do the shackles with it down lower to the ground, to lift and lower the truck frame as if you so suit, to line up your holes. So this is a note. Yeah, we could have put it up on the lift to do those, but and honestly, I can't go much higher than this. So, but at the same time, we went ahead and got rid of those old rusty, nasty shocks. Those were original from a '99 with these brand new Bilsteins that we got from our donor truck. Literally brand new at a cost of this $0. So that's a win. We had to drop the lower sway bars, so we greased that at the same time. And then we're gonna tackle this exhaust. All right, everyone, that brings us to the close of this episode on Project Freight Train, taking our 99 Dodge Cummins on the journey of a $1,500 build. That's it, $1,500, and it isn't much. So today, what we did was we did the shackles, right? I think we have $55 into those shackles. We just leveled the truck out, got a nice stance, 3 inches lower in the rear. So stay tuned for the next episode when we put the 5-inch donated exhaust on and a Canon high flow filter, as well as take out the silencer in the turbo, and maybe a few other things. But thanks again for watching. Scott with Flip and Customize. Subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys.